Welcome to the Anointed to Dance Ministries page where we talk about the ministry of dance, but we also do Word Wednesday, whereby individuals who feel led to to speak a word from God, words of encouragement, enlightenment, they can do so on this platform. So if you or anyone you know who would be interested in discussing the ministry of dance or doing the Word Wednesday, providing words of encouragement on my platform, let me know or send my information to them so we can get connected and get this ministry on the road. Today, we're going to talk about the ministry of dance, and I have a wonderful special guest, someone we have something in common. We both are originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. We both
Yeah.
moved to Georgia, and now we're both back here in New Orleans. And my special guest is none other than Sister Tessa Armand of New Orleans, Louisiana. Welcome so much, Sister
Amen.
Tessa, for joining and for availing yourself and for being available to be my special guest as we talk about the ministry of dance. For those of you who are watching a replay and those of you who will be in the chat, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. And I pray that this session will be a blessing to you if you are someone who is not a ministry and movement, never have been, but watched us. You're a choir member, you're a preacher, choir director, or just an usher, or just a pew member. And you want to know more about the ministry of dance, the things that you see, give us a call or reach out to us, connect with us on social media, ask questions, attend the next live with your questions. We will be more than happy to answer your questions to the best of our ability. All right. So again, my special guest on today to talk about the ministry of dance is Sister Tessa Armand. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
So I think it kind of started. Let's see, I got born again in the 80s, right? Late 80s. And, um, back then, sis, like this praise and worship thing, it was not that it was a taboo, but the black church just wasn't doing it. They were
Yeah.
not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they did it.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't a part of their praise and worship service. And so
Mm-hmm.
in the 90s, that's when I kind of like became introduced, to it because the local church I was going to at the time, they had this guest minister. He was an evangelist.
Okay.
Yeah, he was an evangelist. Uh, Pastor Johnny Smith and his wife was Pamela Smith. Well, now she's apostle. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but she came to the church and she ministered and danced, something I had never seen before.
Wow.
But before
Uh-huh.
before I got born again and stuff, oh, honey, I used to go to famous disco. I'm not sure if you know about the famous disco.
No.
Oh, but no, but yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a local club here, and me and my girlfriend, girl, we would go, honey, on the weekends, and we would sweat ourselves out our clothes dancing, right? Yeah, we really did. We really, really did.
Uh-huh.
But little did I know that God was going to use that, for ministry. So
Mm-hmm.
I kind of looked at it as now, like I'm like, wow, this was really a gift from God that I was really,
Yeah.
for not using for His glory at the time. But back to the
Mm-hmm.
story at Christian Faith, when my husband and I became members there, Minister Pam and her husband came and she danced off of, oh, girl, CC Winans song, In
Mm-hmm.
Return. Oh, my God.
Ah.
Have you ever heard of In Return? It's more, it
I
was
think I
a
did. It
testimonial.
sounds
Yeah,
familiar.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
been a
my God.
long time.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So I'm talking about the 90s. But girl, oh my
Uh-huh.
God. And I'm looking at Apostle Pam at the time. She was just, minister. I'm looking at her minister, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and all I saw was just such purity, um, and just so graceful and just so anointed. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just awestruck sitting in the audience. I'm like, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. Again, especially
Uh-huh.
among us, and I was like, wow, this is good,
Mm-hmm.
man. I can do this. I say, I can do this. I know I can do
Mhm.
this. I say, I can do this, right? So, yeah, long story
Mhm.
short, she came back to the church. Pastor Prophet Deidre had her come back to the church and do
Okay.
a dance conference. And
Yes.
that's when the dance ministry was birthed at our church at Christian Faith back then.
Wow.
And
Wow.
from Pamela Smith. She came, and then on top of that, look, she came back again, sis, and her and her husband danced. And they danced
Mhm.
all girl, it was so beautiful. I never saw anything like that before.
Wow.
You
Couples
are flesh
dance.
of my flesh and bone of my bone. That's what they
Oh
dance off of.
wow. Oh, I love that song.
It was
Mhm.
beautiful. I'm like, to see a brother
Mhm. Right,
dance,
right. Especially
dance
at
like
that
that.
time too. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh
Mhm.
my God. And like I say, with her, it was just such purity. She was a skilled dancer, and she just had the anointing. She was just flowing the grace. I'm like, oh yeah. And that's
Mhm.
when I fell in love for it. That's when I fell in love with it. And again, she came back, did the conference, and then I started going to Tulane University. I said, oh no, I'm getting ready to take some classes. I started taking the ballet
Yeah.
class. I started dancing with the Newcomb Dance Company. Oh yeah, it was on then, sis. It was on then. Yeah, it was on then. Because then I started getting involved like that, and it just started feeling so natural. It just became
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
natural to me to do it. I was like, okay, God, yeah,
Mhm. Now, when you mentioned Tulane, that reminds me of the time when, because me growing and learning, because I never had professional dance classes since the age of 5, like quite a few people I know who have. When I started ministering at Greater St. Stephen, Full Gospel Baptist Church, under Bishop Paulus Martin, senior pastor, and Elder Deborah B. Martin, co-pastor. And when the ministry first started, I didn't have technique. I didn't know about it. I,
right,
I used to dance in high school, marching in parades and stuff. We didn't
okay,
need to know all that, pointing out feet and shoulders down and roll back and all
right,
that, arms straight. We didn't have to do all that. We just danced. And so once I joined there, the dance ministry at Greater St. Stephen, it was called the Kyra Dance Ministry. The young ladies who were members, they had technical background, dance technical
okay,
background, basic ballet. And so I was like, I need to learn this. I need to know this. And so I've done quite a few things as far as reading books, ordering books, or checking out the library books, or checking out the library videotapes and stuff like that. But I also, anytime I heard anything at Tulane University, had like free, okay, favorite word,
yes,
free
yes,
dance classes, dance workshops. I went there and I was like, I need to learn this. And I learned so much from different dance choreographers during those
yes,
particular time, those sessions. I was like, because and for me, it helped build my dance vocabulary. So yeah, when you mentioned Tulane University, that was one of the things I ended up doing. I ended up going to Tulane University for their little summer dance workshops.
yes,
And it was like a
yes,
day, or
right,
mainly they were days because they were free. Anyone things that had lasted longer than that, 2, 3 days or a week or whatever, I didn't attend because it costs coins, you know.
right, right, right. Uh-huh. Yeah.
So with you getting involved, did you start dancing like by yourself, or were you with the group at the church at Christian Faith?
Yeah, once the ministry got birthed there, we had the praise dance team, the adult praise dance team, right? And so
Okay, okay.
yeah, so I was honored to serve, and so I was the director over that, and I also
Mm,
worked with children's ministry. Yeah.
okay,
And they also had
okay.
a dance team, the youth dance team. So I mean, it was like full
Mhm.
force. It was full force because
Yeah.
yeah, Prophet Deidre, I mean, she saw it. She saw it when
Mhm.
Minister Pam did it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, this has to be a part, yeah, of praise and
Yes.
worship." So yeah,
Mhm. Mhm. Did y'all do any special pieces, like for pastor's anniversary, church's anniversary, and I'm sure youth did. I'm sure y'all did
yeah,
something for
but
youth.
yeah, she would always have us dance for, actually, we dance every Sunday as part of the praise and worship team. Off of
Mhm.
from the praise and worship team, where we will be at the bottom and we will dance on Sunday.
Mhm.
Yeah, we will dance every
Mhm.
Sunday. We sure did. And then, of course,
Mhm.
if something was special going on, they would ask that we um, um, just choreograph a piece for the kids and stuff like that. One particular
Right.
thing I remember there, we did do the African, because I think that was one of your later on questions. We
Yeah.
did do an
Mm-hmm.
African piece, and we did it off of
Mm-hmm.
Handel's Messiah. Hallelujah, Handel's Messiah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so one of the
Wow.
actually it was Prophet Deidre's daughter, Ariane, one of her friends, came
Mm-hmm.
and taught us that African dance. And it was just beautiful because it was all three of the teams. It was the little girls, us, and the teams. And I mean, that's just how big it was. And we always dressed in African
Mm-hmm.
attire. It was just beautiful. It and
Oh,
that but that was the
wow.
last, but that's weird because that was the last thing I did as far as African, African. But
Uh-huh.
I love our culture, African. I love it. I love it. As a
Uh-huh.
matter of fact, I
Me
really need
too.
to start taking some more classes. I really need to start taking some more classes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I love African pieces, the culture, and just going back and learning, relearning, and looking at things, videos. That's why I follow a lot of African social media pages.
Yeah.
Those are in Liberia, Ghana,
Yes.
Botswana, South Africa, and stuff like that. And I've even got a love for a lot of African movies and series as
Wow.
well. So I really, what really happened was, I think it was like with 2026, so about 2023, if not 2022. I for Black History Month, I said, you know what? I'm going to, for the whole month of February, I'm going to watch nothing but African movies and series. That's how I got addicted to so many African
Wow.
actors and actresses and series. Now, two of my
Yeah.
favorites, the top favorites, one is called um, Savage Beauty, and the leading actress is Rosemary Zemu. We're friends now on Facebook. I mean, on Instagram. And I got a chance to meet her at Essence Festival 2 years ago.
Wow.
I took a picture with her,
Awesome.
and when I first saw her, I was like, Savage Beauty. I didn't know her name because their names are like long and you just
Yes.
can't
Yes.
pronounce. Let's say I can't pronounce them.
Yes. It's
So I just
Jessica.
called her by the name of the movie. I was like, Savage Beauty. She just was smiling and she was shocked that I recognized her. And so at that time, she handed me a card because they were doing a premiere of a new movie called Nine that she was starring in. She said, "I want you to come." And towards the end of the conversation, she was like, "I want you to come and check out this new movie I'm in." I'm just like, gladly. And so I've been following her ever since. And then another
Yes.
series that I became addicted to was it's called Fatal Seduction. Honey. And they're both
Uh-uh.
on Netflix. They're both on Netflix. Just a little
Okay.
FYI for anybody who will want to get into African movies and series. Now, these are series, but they're addictive. So, FYI, PSA, just no warning. They're addictive. And Fatal Seduction, the third season just came out. It just came out. So, yeah, I love
Wow.
culture and just learning more about us. I mean, you feel the connection. You feel that connection,
Yeah.
as you continue
Yeah.
to learn more about it. Now, for even for us for special pieces, we did praise and worship every Sunday, as well as this special pieces. And this is from prior to Hurricane Katrina at Greater St. Stephen in New Orleans. And I'm not sure if you are familiar with the fact that one time we started off with one church, and then we were one church in two locations. We had Uptown first, and then Uptown, and then New Orleans East. And then we expanded to
Okay.
West Bank. So we were one church in three locations after a while. And we had
Wow.
like
Uh,
7 services, 5 to 7 services every morning, because each service had two. Each location had 2 services, so two, except for West Bank. I think they just had one. So we had 5 services each morning, and we
okay.
had to dance, do praise and worship at those
Awesome.
services. And some of us were assigned for a particular service. Let's say the Uptown had 8:30 and 11 o'clock
Uh-huh.
and some of us were
Uh-huh.
assigned to 8:30 or 11. If you were assigned to 8:30, then you had to leave to go to the east for the 9:30 or
Yeah.
10 o'clock service or
Okay.
whatever. So
Okay.
we were
Yeah.
running around, and so I was in the choir at the time. And so once our service number of services continued to increase, I had to step back out of the choir, pull back from the choir because I couldn't stay to sing. I was no longer able to stay and sing because at first I was able to dance for praise and worship and go up in my garment and sing in the choir. But
Oh,
after we were going here,
okay.
there, and everywhere, I was like, oh, I gotta go to the next service, gotta go to the next location. So yeah, that it was an experience. It was fun because I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved it.
Right.
Um,
Amen.
now, um, now I know you mentioned Sister Pamela Smith, and it see that she captivated your interest and stirred up your gift, that spirit within you, to minister and dance. Is there anyone else that you saw that you respected and admired that kind of pretty much helped you become the minister of movement and the leader that you are today?
Wow. Well, okay. So, oh, this is crazy. But after all that happened, right? After all that,
Uh-huh.
I wound up getting divorced, right, in '98.
Mhm.
Sis, I left New Orleans and went to Atlanta by myself. I knew nobody. It was just a big mess because, my ex and I, we served in ministry. So it was just painful being in New Orleans at the time.
Mhm.
So girl, I wound up leaving. Didn't know nobody in Atlanta. Went there, stood in the shelter until I got on my feet, got two jobs, you know what I'm saying, and got myself together. My ex had my
Mhm.
kids. He wouldn't give me my kids. It was just a hot mess. It was a hot mess
Mhm.
after that happened, with me
Mhm.
relocating. So I had to go on. But then once I got situated, I started fellowshipping at World Changes Ministry. They had a praise and worship team there, and I got involved there. Then from there, I met, with working at CDC. I met another sister. She was part of the National Dance Liturgical Network. I yoked up with them. We started just going all over, just doing community stuff. So, yeah, I would have to say Apostle Michelle Rucker, because even now,
Okay.
she's my mentor. Like as far as my dance, yeah, yeah, she would be the one, Michelle Rucker. Yeah,
The name sounds
in Atlanta.
familiar.
Yeah,
Is she
yeah,
familiar? Is
yeah.
she connected with Sister Pamela Hardy? You know?
No, she has a dance ministry in Atlanta. Well, I would say underneath her nonprofit is called Dancing on the Promise, and I would dance
Okay.
with her. Yeah. So it was really good. Once I got to Atlanta, got settled and stuff. You know what I mean. So I would have to
Mhm.
say, yeah, Apostle Michelle Rucker. She's my mentor. And then specifically in the, in the worship arts, but I love Debbie Allen. When I was in high school,
Oh.
I used to watch girl, and I'll even till today, because
Me
high
too.
school, her dance. Oh my God, I love Debbie Allen. She is, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, she's especially after Judah Jameson. Judah Jameson was one too that I like with Alvin Ailey,
Yeah.
right? But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, her and Debbie Allen.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Beautiful. I got a chance to meet Debbie Allen. She
awesome.
came to Changing the Generation when we after Hurricane Katrina, Changing the Generation
Okay,
in Atlanta. Bishop Paul S. Morton was the pastor at the time, and she was visiting to promote her Black
wow,
Nutcracker. Was it called Black Nutcracker? I think it was called Black Nutcracker. And so she was visiting, and it happened to be the same service that Sister Cassie Davis was in the audience as well.
wow.
And I danced for praise and worship. I had no idea they were coming, and I happened to dance in the pulpit, but on their side. They both were sitting on the same side. So I was here and they were on the right side. And when the security guard, he was a good friend of mine because when you at need the rooms open or you need a longer time of rehearsal,
And stuff.
that was my
Yeah, yeah.
buddy. He was like, "Oh yeah, y'all go here, go here. I'll lock up when y'all done." You know, he always gave me grace and favor. So he told me, he said, Debbie Allen and Cassie Davis here. I said, what? And so I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest, and I had to ask God for forgiveness. When he told me Debbie Allen was in service,
Uh-huh.
I took my garments. I got undressed. I got out my garments, went to the room, got out my
Uh-huh.
garments, and refreshed myself, put on my regular clothes. And I usually leave my garments in the room till service is over. And when service is over, I will go get my garments and go to my car and leave. This time, I had took my garments, brought it to the car, and I stayed outside.
Okay. All
Like a
right.
stalker,
Okay.
okay?
Wait.
Baby, I
Yeah.
was waiting for her because he told me she wasn't gonna stay long. And so I waited outside the whole time. I don't know what Bishop Martin preached about that day, but I said, I'm gonna meet Debbie Allison. She's leaving at a
Yeah.
certain time. Oh, because when the best time people tend to leave, and I know people will leave service is when, especially when Bishop is preaching, when he's like, I feel like preaching up in here, and he start winding up. Oh, that's when people get up and go. That's the time that she got up and Cassie Davis
Oh,
got up,
okay.
and so they can go on to, because I think they were going from one service to the next, especially Debbie Allen.
Okay.
And baby, he texted me. He texted me or he called me. One of them. He said she's
Uh-huh.
coming outside. He texted me. He said, she coming outside. I said, all right, all right. And so she came outside, and she happened to, one of the ladies who were like assisting her was another dancer who I worked with couple of times
Uh-huh.
previously with at a dance school, and she was also interested in joining our dance ministry. So she was assisting her, and Debbie Allen was with two other people, and she came outside, and I was like, and she was smiling. She's always smiling, that welcoming spirit. She was smiling. I was like,
Yeah.
"Hey, Debbie Allen, how you doing?" She said, "Oh, you did a beautiful job. You danced so gracefully." I was like, "Thank you." And I asked, I said,
Amen.
"Would you mind if I take
Amen.
a picture with you?" She said, "Sure." So we took a picture. So I was like, so yeah, I got a chance. And then after she left, I was getting ready to get in the car. Here come
Awesome.
Cassie
Awesome.
Davis. And Cassie Davis, I was in the car
Yes.
already, getting ready to pull off. Cassie Davis was like, "Oh, you dance so beautiful." And she was doing it, gracefully. She was doing her little R's and stuff like that. And I was like, "Thank you." And she did it 3 times and 2 times. I said, "Now, if she said one more time, I'm gonna get out and ask her for a
One more
picture."
time.
And so she did it one more time. She said, "You were just so graceful." I said, "Thank you." I said, "Would you mind if we take a picture?" And she was like, "Sure, come on." So I'm like, "Baby, I got my two pictures that same day." So that was a
Amen.
blessing. So I did get a chance to meet
Amen.
Debbie Allen. I still have the pictures of
It
me.
was. Yes.
Yes, Lord, true
Yes.
blessing. And I pray
Yes.
that you get a chance to meet her one day as
Wow.
well. And she just
That is one of
wants.
my aspirations. Yes.
Yes.
It is. That is an aspiration.
Yeah,
It
beautiful, beautiful. And to hear her story about trying to go to professional dancing schools and being told about her body shape, she didn't have the right body shape,
body and
body
stuff.
type,
Yeah.
and all that.
Well, I kind but I unfortunately I experienced that too at Tulane when I was taking my ballet classes. There was an instructor.
Okay.
She was very, yeah, she was one of those. And she would say, how, oh, well, yeah,
Mm,
because, I had a little challenge because I didn't start dancing till my late 20s. So, I was considered late as far as I'm concerned because, they start their kids off at 2 years old. You feel what I'm saying? And not so
two
with
or
us.
three.
But now our culture
Right.
is more, has for the last 20 or 30 years, we've been getting our kids involved with specifically ballet, the discipline of ballet, because that's the foundation of dance,
Hmm.
right? When you got ballet, you could
Hmm.
do anything else. You could do any other style that you want because that's where you learn your
Hmm.
leaps, your jumps, you learn all that stuff
Right.
in ballet.
Right.
And so, yeah,
Right.
so she would not really make fun of us because if I'm
Hmm.
honest, it was maybe about five of us sisters in there, learning,
Okay.
learning ballet. So she was saying how your body has to be the girl. Please, now today, all of them want what we got. You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
But that's what they were saying. For African American have big busts and big, you know, breasts and
Mhm.
butts, and yeah.
Mhm.
So I
Right.
kind of experienced that racism, and this was in the '80s at Tulane University. But
Wow.
it may be different now.
Yeah. It may not be.
May not be. That's right.
It may not be. Yeah, and a lot of us, the way we're shaped, we have that curvature of the lower spine, and
Right.
causes us to,
Right.
protrude a little bit, and they want you to tuck it some more. Tuck. I
Tuck it.
can't.
Yeah.
It's the our body shape. It's that text. The way we're
Yeah.
shaped. We're shaped
Shape.
uniquely
Yeah.
and divinely made,
That's right.
and wonderfully
Wonderfully.
made.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I see a couple of people in the chat. Thank you all for joining. Let us know where you're chiming in from. If you could hear us real good, if the view is pretty good. Make sure I'm not freezing, because I tend to freeze. Let's see. There's Rail and Philippe. Hello, how are you? I see Eurofavicia. Hello, how are you? And if you have any questions, and even those of you who are watching the replay, if you have any questions for us thus far, let us know. Type it in the comments, in the comments during the replay, and I'll be certain to answer any questions that you may have. And if you or those of you who are in the chat, go ahead and type your questions that you have for us, that you want to ask and you want to know, and you're just honestly curious. And same thing with you, Sister Tessa. If you have any questions for me throughout this time period, just feel free. If you have anything you want to say outside of what we're going to discuss, you're at liberty to do so. Whatever you want to say, whatever you want to ask, or whatever you want to share. Now I know you have a nonprofit organization. What about the children? I know it's a task, the process and all the ins and outs of it all. Share with us how the beginning, middle, and where you are now with your current organization. What about the children?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, when it first started, sis, back in the
Mm-hmm.
'90s, because once
Mm-hmm.
Pamela came and I
Uh,
started getting involved, I started serving as leadership, you know what I'm saying? Over the
mm-hmm.
adults ministry and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I could see, because you see a need, you see a need for the
Yes.
service, right? Um, so I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, God. By the time I got to Atlanta, because Atlanta is on a whole nother level now.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, even
Mm-hmm.
specifically in the arts ministry, so they was out there doing it. They were doing their stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, oh man, I need to do this. I need to do it. So it kind of started before I left New Orleans while I was still at Christian Faith. And I used to call it Cushite, because at the time, Dr. Greg Thomas, he was ministering on, talking about us, that we're the Cushites, stuff like that. And so I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
Cushite dance ministry. So it was that. That's what. So this was it
Oh.
actually started way back in the '90s, and it was called
Mm-hmm.
Cushite Dance Ministry while I was still under
Okay.
Christian Faith Ministries. And yeah, and so wow, from Tulane, I met some girls, right? And they were doing
Mm-hmm.
the praise dance ministry at their church. One of them had a studio, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
I was able to use her studio. God just gave me favor with her, and I had the studio.
Mm-hmm.
The children at my local fellowship Christian Faith, they came. Their parents allowed them to support me. They came there and got class. So I had a good about, I would, if I'm honest, about 50 to 75 kids from my church, and then their friends from the neighborhood. They would come, and so that's how Cushite Dance Ministry was birthed. So from then, look, from then, once I relocated to Atlanta and started dancing,
Uh-huh.
it wasn't a name at all. I kind of like just dropped the name, and I would just go
Mhm.
to I would just go to the inner cities, and I kind of like worked this as a contractor. And so around the
Mhm.
holidays, I would go. yeah, around the holidays, I would go to the inner cities, the projects and all that, and I would do after school classes, and I would go to the women's shelters, with the kids, and that's just what I did. Um, but it wasn't really an active like my nonprofit. It was just like sitting behind the shelf. I just started just
Oh,
doing stuff on my own, while being a
okay.
worship. Yeah, yeah. I just started worship dancing. Like I said, once I got to Atlanta at World Changers, Prophet Pastor Creflo Dollar, and then from there I just started doing stuff on my own in the community. Right. Fast forward,
Okay.
I came home. Yeah, so fast forward, I've been home now. Had to come back home to relocate back home about 7 years now to take care of my mom, who
Mm-hmm.
has kind of like with lung cancer. So that's why I'm back here. Other than that, I probably would still be in Atlanta. But since I've been back,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, yeah, I need to get this up started again because again, the service is needed, right? And so I think I kind of like
Yes.
share with you. Yeah, we were talking. And I'm like, I came home trying to just start up, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have any funds. But I do know. I think it's
Yeah.
NOTCF. They I know about their funds and stuff. So I that's what I need to do. I need to get together with someone and start writing up my plans and stuff and submit it to them so I can kind of like get startup funds with that.
Okay. All
Yeah, because I want to do it because it still is needed. But my thing, my
right. Mm-hmm.
my thing is in New Orleans. Yeah, in New Orleans, it's like I don't know. It's totally different in a sense that they teach the culture. That's what they teach. And some of the dance
Mm-hmm.
schools that I've been to since I've been home, just to get some dance classes. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they say praise dance on the outside or either on their website, but then when I get there, it's totally different. They're teaching the culture,
Wow.
and so
Wow.
yeah, I'm not gonna waste money. I'm not gonna spend. Yeah, and
Right.
and that's not.
Right.
I don't have listen, I don't have anything to do with that if that's what God called you to do, but that's not what God has called me to do, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's where I'm
And
at
plus,
with
if
that.
it
But
says praise
today,
dance, teach praise dance.
well, see, my problem is mixture. Yeah, see, I'm not mixing
Mm-hmm.
anything. It's either going to be all
Gotcha.
praise and worship to the Father, or it's not. I'm not going to mix. I'm not going to mix because you know what I mean. I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't. I
Mm-hmm.
can't do it.
Yes.
Can't do
I
it. So
understand
yeah,
totally.
yeah, that's my challenge. The mixture here, the mixture
Gotcha.
here. So since I've been back home though, what about the children came about because I had danced off a Yolanda Adams song. What about the children?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you heard of it before.
Oh,
And I'm like,
yes.
Lord, I listened to this. I listened to the lyrics and I was like, okay, I love it. I love it. And that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
where I got my nonprofit name from. What about the children? What about them? You know what I
Wow.
mean?
What
The
about
kids
them?
are hurting.
Yeah.
They're hurting. They need, yeah.
Mm-hmm. They really are. Yeah, I choreographed because I was at Changing the Generation at Atlanta. I was over the adult dance ministry as well as the youth. They had the children's. I had two other people handle that because I know my lane. I don't deal with nobody under
Yes.
6 years old.
Amen.
But
Yeah.
six to but that youth dance ministry, 6 to 17, I choreographed What About the Children? Because it's so it is meaningful, and you want to know what you have that heart for them, because like you said, many of them are hurting, many of them are neglected,
Oh my
you know,
God.
in so
It's just
many
so
different
sad. Yeah.
ways. So we need to keep that in mind, and need guidance. Even though a lot of them they try to be grown, okay, but they still need that guidance. They still need that
Yeah.
discipline.
And yeah.
So.
And again, my goal is towards the youth. That's just where God had
Mm-hmm.
me, yeah, towards the youth. And yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the
that's your
service is needed
ministry.
really bad. The service
Yes.
is needed really bad. And so,
Yes.
my goal is to kind of like go to some of these toddler daycares, because and when I say toddlers, like you said, I would start maybe from maybe four to six.
Mhm.
That would
Mhm.
be
Mhm.
yeah, that would be the children. But in addition to that, I am also looking for instructors, because where
Mhm.
I'm at right now with my mom, she's my first priority, and like I
Mhm.
say, she have a health
For
challenge,
sure.
lung cancer. Yeah,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
yeah, I I'm at the point now in the season that the Lord has me in with this worship arts dance, is that
Mhm.
I'm just ready. Yeah, I'm just ready to start, like delegating some people in positions. But I also need a tap dancer. Do you know somebody who teaches tap?
Not here. Not here. If you in
See,
Atlanta,
you see what I'm
I know
saying?
exactly who to recommend. But the thing is, she has
Uh-huh.
her own dancing school, but she teaches tap, but she can also rearrange her schedule to teach tap outside of her regular classes because she does one-on-ones as well. But
Yeah.
no, not
Okay.
here. Not and then there's a I was part of a dance group called Vision while in Atlanta, and they have different dance styles, genres that we all had to learn.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh,
there are like a couple of tap dancers there in that group. But here in New Orleans, no, I don't know anybody yet. I don't know
but
anybody
come
yet.
on, come on. They have taken tap away. I think that would be so good for kids.
Yeah,
They would be so,
I agree.
they'll think, yeah. So
I
I'm really,
agree.
really looking for, I may have to go to our other sisters,
Yeah.
the other cultures, because they do that. Yeah,
Right.
they do it. They do
Uh-huh.
it. So
They
yeah,
do. They still do it.
yeah,
I'll keep my
yeah,
ears and eyes open for you though for the tap
yeah.
dancer.
I'm definitely
Yeah,
looking
for
for a tap
sure.
dance. Yeah, because
Mhm.
I know that'll
Yes.
keep the kids' attention. Yeah, that'll keep the kids'
Oh
attentive.
yeah. Oh yeah, and they
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
noise sound too,
yeah.
They want to hear
Yes,
that, that'll keep their interest.
exactly.
Now,
Yeah, so I
we-
think some of my plans. I think one of my plans is this summer is to kind of like, I guess I can use that approach, and you may have another idea, to just kind
mhm,
of introduce myself to some of the churches that don't even have praise dance going on, and maybe just
mhm,
introduce myself and say who I am and stuff like that. I have to come up with some
mhm,
kind of approach. Yeah,
mhm. Yeah, yeah, and God's
because
gonna reveal it to
a lot
you.
of the ministries, a lot of traditional churches, they are still closed minded to that. They don't
Oh
even
yeah,
see it as part of the, yeah, worship service. Yeah,
no,
it's
no,
sad, but yeah.
it's still taboo to them. And then a lot of churches who had it prior to COVID, they're starting to rebuild because that it stopped then. After it's slow, or it has stopped, and it's been going to stop for a little while, but they trying to rebuild in that process too, because that's where I am. The Tabernacle, Abundant Life Tabernacle, Bishop Tyrone Jefferson. It sounds like, from my understanding, that they only had the youth dance ministry, but now that he asked me to help him build the adult dance ministry. So I'm in the process
Okay,
of working on rebuilding the adult dance ministry. And even with the choir, there used to be a choir consistently prior to COVID, but since COVID, that kind of went out. So a lot of churches are rebuilding ministries since COVID.
okay,
So yeah,
okay.
but of
Yeah.
course there are still some traditional churches. It's like, no, you can't wear pants up in here. They're still on that level.
Wow. Wow.
Stuck. Let's see. Anybody in the chat? Hi, Mastermind Concept. She said, I love that song. What about the children? Do too. We do too.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions? Anybody have any questions? Go ahead and type your questions in. Until then, I'm going to ask the next question. What about, how do you enforce sticking to the rules? Let's say somebody comes in with the parents or the students. The parents try to tell you how to run your studio with rules and regulations, and your students. I mean, your students. How do you handle that?
Well, you have to use wisdom. You have to use wisdom, but then you have to use wisdom, but then you have to be firm too, because there are rules. There
Yeah.
are rules that you have to
Yes.
the parent. And so yeah, and I think you have to make that must be upfront. You bring your kids,
Mhm.
you register your kids. No, no, I normally give out a dance packet, right? And all the information
Mhm.
about the students, about, yeah, what their attire, what they're supposed to have, how they're supposed to have their hair. All that stuff is in this packet. And I meet with the parents and
Mhm.
the children, you know, um, during registration time, and I let them know again, firm,
Mhm.
firm. Yeah, yeah, you have to be firm and let them know, because if not, there's going to be consequences. And the consequence for
Yeah.
me may be that you may sit, since you since your mother, because it's not the kids, it's the parents. So since your
Yeah.
mother, since your mother want to to the back or put it up or something, or since your mother don't want to cooperate with the rules, you just may sit and observe the class a few times. I'm not going to put you
Mhm.
out, because you got to be
Mhm.
sensitive to kids. You got to be sensitive to kids. So I won't put you out, but I'll definitely
Mhm.
let you sit down and observe the class. You just won't participate because you're not dressed properly.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep. And I'm glad you
Or
said it
or
because
another option
uh-huh.
is, sis, another option is, I can, see if I have another, if I have another uniform or something that I'll maybe let her wear that day, that she could participate
Mhm.
in the class. But then I'll tell her mother, hey, this is unacceptable. You have to send her with the right
Mhm.
stuff. Yeah. So she can participate.
Mhm.
Yeah. Speak the
Yeah.
truth in love.
But yeah, with truth and love. And I'm glad you shared that because for those who are in the chat, maybe a studio owner, organization owner, dance company organization owner, or those of you who are watching the replay, these are advices and suggestions that you can use if you don't, for those who don't know what to do when you're dealing with parents or the kids and they come in however and they try to do what they want to do. These are good suggestions that you might want to consider. Have the child sit and watch and let the parent know, hey, this is unacceptable and it's becoming, and some of them do, they try it, they continue to let it be a
Right.
habit. It's like, oh, she let her
Yeah.
do it this time, or she let, oh, and then before
Right.
you know it, it's every week.
No.
It's every week.
Right.
And my friend, the one who owns the dance studio in Conyers, Georgia, to be exact, Nakisha Banks, in the Key of Dance is the name of her dance studio. She had to do that a few times. Let them sit and watch, because
Yeah.
after a while, the child is going to be like, "Mom," they're going to feel out of place. They're going to feel awkward. They're going to feel embarrassed, and so the child is going to get on the parent. It's like, Mom, so, and parents after a while, if the child keeps saying this and they crying, the kids know how to use the tears too now. And so the child is going to get on the parent, and the parent going to eventually have to give in, you know, unless it's one of those parents who like, well, child, we gonna see. She let us do it last time. She'll let us continue to do it this time and this time and the whole rest of the year. Like I said, parents will try it, but as you said, you got to be firm. You got to be firm,
Yeah.
and after so many
Yeah.
times, it's like, hey, these are the consequences. So, like, so let's say a student comes to your class and their hair is not pulled back and they're wearing all kinds of stuff. And this is like the fifth time. What would be the consequence? And the parent knows. Let's say you talk to the parent already about it, and the parent is still sending their child inappropriately dressed. What is the actual or the ultimate consequence? What do you do?
Oh, oh, you know what? I would not want to hurt the child, because, and just ask that the parent don't bring her there anymore. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't know what would be, uh, because I wouldn't want to just say, well, she can't participate anymore. That wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. Do you have any suggestions?
um.
What I mean, like really,
I'm. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. A lot of parents would pull on your heartstrings by using a child. And they, let's say they've done it 5 and 6 and 7 times, and you talk to the parent over and over. Um, Honestly, my ultimate ultimatum would be, uh, they can't come back until you get it straight. Until if they're not, if they still pay for their classes, then yes, they can come to fill out the rest of their class. But after that, let's say for the month, she paid for the parent paid for the month, I'll let them finish the
Yeah.
month.
Yeah.
But then I'll talk to them and say, we talked about this 10 times, and you still refuse
Yeah.
to make sure, let's say Sally comes
Yeah.
in appropriately
Yeah.
dressed,
Complying.
you
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Yeah.
you're not being in compliance. So it's to, and I'll share with the parent, you teaching your child how to be disobedient. You teaching your child the way of doing things her way as opposed to following rules. And so until you get it together, basically, I'll tell it in so many words, she can't come back
Yeah.
until you learn how to abide by the rules. These are rules. You signed your name on the dotted line. That basically it's an agreement. You agreed to abide by my rules. And I gave you warning after warning after warning. And so I see that you can't follow these rules. So, unfortunately, Sally can't come back until you learn to follow the rules again. And I hate to hurt her feelings, but these are my rules. And you need to be respectful of it and teach her how to be respectful of the rules. Because if you're not respectful of the rules, you're teaching her not to be respectful of my rules or anybody else's rules. And as she get older, she'll be disrespecting the law, police
True. Yeah.
officers,
Yeah.
judges.
Yeah.
It leads
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
to that
Anybody in
level of
authority. Yeah.
disrespect.
Anybody in authority.
Anybody in
Yeah.
authority.
Authority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's
Yeah.
good. That's really good. And
Mhm.
I agree with you. I just don't. I've never experienced that, and so I don't know how I would do it.
Mhm.
But now that you shared that, I
Right.
think I know how to do it.
Yeah. I've never experienced it, but cuz if I had an issue
Yeah.
with a parent, whenever I did, which I rarely did, I thank God for that. Even when I was
Right.
teaching at
Right.
a Praise and Motion Dance Academy and here in New Orleans prior to Hurricane Katrina, I never really had a problem with my parents. If I did have an issue with a child, I'll talk to the parents. It only took that one talk, that one
Right.
discussion, and that
Good.
child will straighten up. And sometimes, even before the discussion, sometimes that child will straighten up after that. I give him that one look,
Uh huh. Uh
like,
huh.
their parents look, child, they didn't play with me after a while. But if they do it again, and if I need to talk to the parent, and it usually took that one conversation, say, look, this is a warning. And whatever I had to say that the child did, that she needs to work on, and come on, after that, it was always no problem. But I never had to tell a parent or a child anything 9 and 10 times before. I never had to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
I've just started listening to Nathaniel Bassey.
Okay.
And yeah,
Nathaniel. Never heard
Nathaniel.
him.
Yeah, I know. They started playing his worship music at my local fellowship, Nathaniel Bassy. And sis, I'm telling
Okay.
you, it is, oh my God. So yeah, so I do have African music that I would use now, Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Good,
Yeah.
good. Then you get that ear. And do you look at the short, maybe 5 minutes, some of 'em maybe seven? Do you consider the time, or you just consider what resonates well with you? Or both?
Probably both, but yeah, yeah, yeah. For
Mhm.
some reason, African songs, yeah, the duration is real long, and most of the time when you're
Yeah.
ministering in dance, it shouldn't be. I think Apostle Pam said years ago, when she was teaching us class, she was like, your ministry piece shouldn't be over 3 minutes, maybe five,
Mhm.
but definitely by 3 minutes, you shouldn't. You don't want to bore the people, but yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, and I agree with that, especially with kids,
oh
the
yeah,
children, youth.
yeah,
In 3 minutes, I would give it 3 minutes. I've done, and no lies, I've done. What about the children? I did the whole song, however long that
yeah.
was. I think that was
Yeah,
5 minutes, but I never
yeah,
went over 5 minutes. I agree. 6, 7, that's a little too long. But with
right.
kids, I think they should be like 2, 3 minutes
Yeah.
tops. Because their attention span is kind of
Oh,
short,
very short,
you know,
very
and
short. Yeah, yeah,
and it usually works out well. And with the saying, even with movement, less is more. Same thing with the timing. The shorter it is, the more effective it can be as well when it comes to
yes.
the length of a song. And I just thought about if I ever need to. There's an African store that I go in a lot. I don't shop all the time because
Okay.
the prices are high, but I like looking. Play a lot of African music, and this lady, the owner, she's the manager, but the owner has another store in Las Vegas, Nevada, and the items that they get are mainly from Senegal. Some of them from Nigeria, some of them from Ghana, and so they play little African stuff. So if I need some assistance with African music, if I don't go to YouTube or something like that, just type in African stuff, I will go there for the uniqueness. And sometimes they have had African drummers come in and do certain workshops. I
Oh,
wasn't
wow.
able to attend because of the
Awesome.
time frame. I wasn't available.
Yeah.
So even if I need to get an African drummer or one of their connects, hey, and,
Yes.
and you might want to try that if you haven't done that
Yes.
already. Have like live drummers, African
Live
drummers.
drums. That's good. Yeah, that's the best way
Hmm.
to go. The live drums.
Yes,
Oh my God. Yes.
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 And I've danced to a live drum when I was part of the community dance group Vision. When I was living in Atlanta, we did a piece. We were invited to, just the three of us, two guys. No, it was just a guy and me. This other guy, he
Uh-huh.
didn't dance with us. He just came to support. And the lady who was over it, her husband he's from Africa. I don't remember where, but he played the drums, and we just danced to the drum beat. Yeah, and that was my first time actually doing that for a church. Oh, I was just out. We
Yeah.
usually practicing,
Yeah.
every once in a while in rehearsal, but actually going forward and for a piece and for a particular church event, that was unique for me. And but I liked it. I
Yeah.
like it. And you feel it.
Uh-huh.
You feel it. You
Yes.
feel it in your
Yeah.
soul.
I
It was
love the
fun. It
yeah.
was fun. All right. And another now what we when we've done the African pieces, it was always for Black History Month.
Uh-huh.
Whether it was for, you know what? I take that back. It was the first time we did it at Change of Generation in Atlanta. It was for Women Day. I wanted to be different. I wanted to be
Uh-huh.
different.
Uh-huh.
And we did it for Women Day. And another time we did do it for Black History Month. Um, and when I left changing the generation, because I was married at the time, I wanted to be at the same church with my husband. And so I went to Greater Travelers Rest, which is now called House of Hope Atlanta, where Pastor E. Dewey Smith is the pastor. And we did it for Black History Month. So have you ever done African pieces outside of Black History Month? Like we did it for Women Day. Did y'all ever do it outside of Black History Month?
No. No.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because I know
But I
it's
would
kind
love
of it's
to.
pretty the norm.
I would love
Hmm.
to.
Yeah.
Would
Just
love to.
present it. Yeah, and just present it. It's like here's our culture. Like let's say at a big
Yeah.
fair, a
Yes.
festival,
Yeah.
or a cultural festival. That'll be very very interesting. And even with and so Mastermind Concept, a great friend of mine, she's a guidance counselor for me as when it comes to my gifts and giving me ideas. She's great coach for those who may need a little coaching session.
It,
She's awesome in that. And one of the ideas she brought to me, and I still see it happening, is what she called it. That's a certain name. Dance for Justice. And like what, because I was always and still am a Breonna Taylor supporter of getting her
oh yeah.
justice, and anybody else,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
injustice that's taking place on our people who are being murdered by the
Right.
law.
Right. Yes.
And then just dancing for justice. And I can see even for that, events like that, um, gathering together with Tamika Mallory and whenever Until Freedom and anything that's dealing with our culture and our people and justice. fighting for justice, doing the African piece would be a great piece.
It
Just
would
an
be.
idea,
It would.
you know.
Yeah.
It would be
Uh-huh.
outside of just a normal Black History Month. And then
Month.
now
Yeah.
Juneteenth, people are ministering for Juneteenth as well. More and more people are doing it. Never really did it before on Juneteenth, but now more and more of us are becoming accustomed to Juneteenth and celebrating our culture and our people, the liberation, true liberation on what's that, June 19th, I believe. Yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So, yeah, just wanted to ask about that, African piece. Now, closing out, we're almost done. Closing out, do you have any? I know you're real busy with your What About the Children organization. Do you have any upcoming events you would like to share so those who are watching in the chat or watching the replay, they can come out and support you?
Oh wow, yeah. So I do have two ministry assignments that's coming up, but unfortunately they're not local. They're in Alabama, and then they have one.
Okay.
Yeah, so the one in Alabama, um, I don't know. I don't want to call it a pop up because I have a cousin. She lives in Mandeville, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Prophet Deborah Winston. I normally, whenever she ministers or something, she always uses me to, uses me to minister before
Mm-hmm.
he bring the word. So she's given this like this pop up thing. It's not like well, it's to
Mm-hmm.
me pop up, because everybody doing pop ups, right? So she's doing something. She's networking. She's networking with the church in Alabama, and so they asked her to come out there. So I'm gonna be doing that next month. Next week, the
Awesome.
15th and 16th. Yeah,
Okay.
and then, yeah,
Okay.
and then in May, there's a retreat that my pastor, Prophet Gail, Pierce is ministering. And so,
Okay.
yeah, I'll minister the word before. I'll minister and dance before she minister the word. And then, of course, on Sundays, at
Okay.
my local fellowship, yeah, yeah, I dance every Sunday
Okay.
there. Yeah.
All right, awesome. And you never know who's watching if they are in Alabama and support. So if you happen to have any flyers you would like shared on my platform, just know I'm always sharing people's stuff. So if you post
Okay.
it and I see it that you
Okay.
ministering somewhere, I will share it. Because I
Amen.
love doing that kind of thing, just to
Okay.
share what other people are doing, conferences, workshops, just
Yeah.
ministering, just going for anything you have going on. I love to share, even if you're selling stuff. Like if you have items for sale, let's say bakery, t-shirts, you do jewelry, you whatever you do creatively and you sell it, I'll share that as well. So do you happen to have anything? Do you sell anything, books or anything like that?
No, no, sis. I don't.
Okay.
No, sis. I don't sell
Not yet,
anything
not
like
yet.
that.
All right. Yeah. So just so you know, when you start doing
Right.
stuff and I see it, I will be sharing it.
Yeah.
Just so you know,
Okay.
I
That's a
love to
blessing.
share it. That's my way of supporting. A lot of
Yeah.
times I can't always support financially, but just
Right.
sharing and
Right.
getting the word out there, it doesn't
Absolutely.
cost
Yeah.
anything to share
That's
people's stuff,
Well,
to
that's
get
what
the
it's
word
about.
out there.
Well,
Because
but that's what it's about, networking, so that's a
Mhm.
blessing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, and there are some people that I can reach that you probably can't reach,
Right.
or
Right.
unable to reach because I have
Right.
people assigned to me on my platform that may
Right.
not be connected to you. So you just never know. You just never know. Now, how can others? I know I have your information, and I will put it in the chat. But just so those who are listening and unable to write it down just yet, how can others reach you? What other platforms, websites, if they want to connect with you?
I really need to
Okay.
put up my website on IG and web, and I plan to do
Mhm.
that because I plan to have dance, right?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I'm working on some a flyer that I'm gonna put on, on IG and Facebook, but I don't really have a page like that. And like I shared with you, most of the
Mhm.
time when I minister, it's just people that I know in my circle. I don't really advertise like that. So if I'm dancing to someone
Mhm.
else, if something going on with me, you're gonna honestly say, "Wow, yeah, somebody got to know Tessa because she's just not out there like that." Know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah.
bad, but not really out there like that. You know, yeah.
Yes, yes. Okay, all right, wonderful. Whenever you have stuff, just let me know. And again, I will share it. I will share it. And so you are on Facebook, Instagram, and are you on TikTok? You're not on TikTok.
And that's really it. No, I'm
Yeah, it's
not.
Facebook and
Uh,
Instagram. All right, I will share your
and so
put in the
it's
description.
really crazy, but but I mean, it's just I don't know. I just never think about having somebody record me, and I don't know. So pray for me about that. But
I will.
I
I
just
will.
because I mean, in a sense that it's my worship is unto the Lord, and so it's for the glory of God. I don't necessarily feel like I have to be seen. You know what I mean? If that
Mhm.
makes sense, I don't know.
Mhm. 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 And I understand that part. But there are also times when, let's say, somebody records you and you're ministering. There are some people who are out there on social media. They could be way in Africa that needs to see your ministry, as opposed to those in the four walls where you are. So you might want to think about it, and pray about it. If you feel comfortable, start having somebody record you and start building your roster.
Okay,
And start sharing it
okay,
on social media, because again, there's somebody out there. Because I've had someone on my platform from Indonesia, as a special guest. So somebody out there in this world that needs to see your ministry. Now they don't need to see mine. There are people that you're assigned to, whose souls and spirits that you're assigned
amen.
to, that and they need to see it, but they can't see it because you're not recorded. So it's just a little suggestion. Just think about it, pray about it. So, yeah, to work on that.
Okay,
Have
amen.
somebody record
Okay,
you. Yeah.
okay. I'll
Get in that
start.
ministry.
I'll start asking.
Yes, just start asking. Even if it's a deacon, no, they might hand might be shaking it because they be probably be too caught up. Just even a young child, get a young person because they're a
Yeah,
little more
yeah, yeah. The
technical.
young. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody else
yeah.
older, they probably be recording the ceiling, the lights,
Figure it out.
the
Yeah.
floor carpet. Get a young person. They'll get it right for you. All right. Now, in closing, I like to do a game called This or That. The first one, sunrise, or do you like sunset?
Sunrise.
Mm-hmm.
Sunrise. Yeah.
Yeah, I need more sun. I need more sun. That sunset, it's getting dark. I'm start getting sleepy. All right. Jeans or leggings?
Probably jeans.
So the next, this or that, sleep with a night light on, or do you like complete darkness?
Darkness. Darkness.
Me
Yeah.
too. Mm-hmm. Don't even turn the music. Don't turn that TV off.
No. Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
darkness, silence, all that. Give it to me. Give it to me. All right. Suspense movies or romantic movies?
Romantic. I'm a romantic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm. You're romantic at heart.
Yeah.
Oh, I love them too,
Yeah.
but baby, give me a suspense movie like Shutter Island any day. Ooh, child, with that twist on the end, like the
Uh
woman
huh.
in the window. Oh my God, the ones with the twist and I care a lot. Those three movies I recommend anybody who likes suspense movies. I
Okay.
care a lot.
Okay. And
The
a woman
woman
in
in
the
the
window.
window and
Uh
Shutter
huh.
Island. That's with Leonardo DiCaprio in it. Oh, they're gonna have your mind twisted. You're gonna be
Okay.
like, what? So
What?
yeah, but I love suspense. All right. The next one, horseback riding or zip lining.
What was the second one, sis?
Zip lining.
What is zip
Horseback
lining?
riding or zip line. You know how that you have that little wire on you and you flying like this. It's like a wire, it's like you're on the whole wire. And you're
Oh
attached to the
no.
wire and you're hanging from it. You're in the woods somewhere and you just, you know, going across
Unfortunately,
on that little string,
unfortunately,
on
I
that
haven't
wire.
done. Yeah, yeah, I haven't done neither, but I would choose horseback riding over that. Yeah.
Yeah, over that. I love horseback ride. I want to do it again. I want to ride a Clydesdale. The little Budweiser
Oh, okay.
horses. I want to ride
Horse,
one of
yeah.
those. I went horseback riding
Wow.
twice. I love it. I want to try zip lining, but in
Okay.
Las Vegas because they have you go across the front. I think it's from one side of the street from a hotel to the another side of the street. I just want to do it one time, but I'd be concerned my hair gonna
Okay.
get caught up, but pull on my hair off and break my neck. All right, the last one, this or that. Music in your headphones or headsets, or you like a music here, listen to music on a speaker.
Probably a speaker. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I'll do
Yeah,
it. I
I
so
love.
I'll but I'll do the headphones. If I'm ministering and I really really need to like get into the song, I may do it like before I minister. But for the most part, yeah, it's speaker.
Gotcha, gotcha. Yeah, you hear it more now with headphones. Like you said, I listen to it before ministering, but a lot of times, even if I'm not ministering, I like to listen to it through the headset because um, I hear extra musical instruments. I hear stuff
Uh
more.
huh.
I hear more instruments when I have it in my ear as opposed to like speakers. So with the speaker, I don't hear every single thing. And even certain movements, certain
Right.
beats that I hear a little extra stuff when I have it in my headset.
Uh huh.
So that's why a lot of times I
Yeah.
like to have the music in my headset. But speaker, yeah, put it on loud, especially when I'm washing dishes. Pop, 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 or cooking, put it on speaker. Turn that volume up too. All right, that's it for this or that game. Again, thank you so much, Sister Tessa Armand, for being a guest. It's been a joy having you, and you're more than welcome to come back if your schedule permits you to. And if you need me in any way and I'm available, I would love to help you out in any way. And those of you who are in the chat, thank you for joining. Those of you who are watching the replay, thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Again, if you want to be a guest or if you know anyone who would like to be a guest on my platform to talk about the ministry of dance or a word wins to give a word of encouragement on my platform, do let me know. And even those of you who are not ministers of dance, you don't dance at all, but you still want to provide your viewpoints on when you're watching ministers of movement and you want to share how they bless you or how we bless you in any way, you're more than welcome to discuss that on my platform as well. You all are welcome. Come on board. Come on board. Now, my next live will be on this coming Thursday of next week, April the 16th, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will have evangelist, what's her name? Evangelist, hold on, Antoinette Ellis. Evangelist, and I try to go on memory. Evangelist Antoinette Ellis of Marietta, Georgia. Marietta, Georgia. She will be my special guest on Thursday, April 16th, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope to see you all in the chat. I want to see your beautiful profile pictures in the chat. Again, thank you all so much for joining. And we're going to say a quick prayer and then we're gone for the rest of the day. Dear God, we thank you for this day. We thank you for this discussion. We thank you for being in the midst of us. We thank you for your love and grace and mercy, which is new every morning. I ask and pray that you touch Sister Tessa, Father God. Continue to give her the strength, the abilities, the creativity, the love that she needs to embrace her, Father God, and that everything that she's dealing with, Father God, even with her mom and taking care, give her the extra strength that only you can give her. I pray that you touch her mind, Father God. Continue to keep her strong in you. And I ask that anything that Sister Tessa has desire in her heart, that you will meet her need according to your will and your way. Continue to guide her and lead her and protect her. And we thank you for this day. Of those who are in the chat, I thank you for them. Thank you for having them to be in the chat and listen to our conversation and discussion on the ministry of dance gift that you've given us. And I ask that you will bless those who are watching the replay and give them the things that they desire, Father God, according to their will and their way. Meet their needs. And we glorify you now, henceforth, and forevermore. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you all so much
Amen.
again.
Praise the
Until next
Lord.
time,
Thank you so
amen.
much.
You're welcome. It's been a blessing. And until next time, everyone, continue to be a blessing to someone else. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.
Amen. Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye bye.